This episode of Dentside Depot, you're going to see all of the remaining 1979 special Dearborn Edition F-150 4x4s known left to exist. And we're going to start right here with this very first truck that was owned by Kalin. Now you can see that this truck is really cool in black with the special graphics going down the side and all the other cool stuff that made these really neat trucks super special. And this particular truck definitely saw some good times back in the day. As you can see, it was definitely doing some shows and some other events, and you can see how awesome it looks with those super big knobby tires on it. Now, one of the cool things about this truck is it was used for doing some sweet jumps, just like this truck was intended to do, which is really awesome. And you can see here one of my favorite pictures of all time, the truck going off a jump and getting the front wheels in the air, Dukes of Hazzard style. How cool is that? That's one of the coolest pictures I've ever seen. And for it to be a Dearborn truck makes it even better. And you can see here, this gentleman was having a ton of fun with this really cool pickup. Look how awesome that looks on the dirt. Now here's something really cool about this truck. It was featured in a newspaper in the Dickinson Star on July 16th, 1987, when they had a big flood. Traffic was blocked up on this one road, and you can see deep in the picture that it was going through the floodwaters because it had such a big lift on it, and of course there's a Bronco in the foreground there as well. Now here's some pictures with it with another Ford truck and some cool GM muscle cars. Here it is at some sort of a truck meet of some kind with another, looks like an Explorer there in the foreground and a couple other Dentsides. Looks like it's next to a 55 Bel Air and a C3 Corvette or a C4 Corvette. Really awesome truck, but unfortunately the story for this truck does not end well, and believe it or not, this is not one of the Dentside Dearborns that is still around today, because unfortunately this truck suffered a major head-on damage, and actually it was wrecked twice. From what I understand, it was wrecked the first time and then repaired, and then unfortunately it was wrecked again. It's almost comical how bad this truck was wrecked. I don't believe anyone was seriously injured in the accident, but you can see that absolutely terrible damage to this particular vehicle. And this is the last known picture of this truck, as it was dropped off in a junkyard many years ago, and to this day no one knows where it is, and this particular Dearborn is lost to history. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is owned by a gentleman by the name of Scott, and this is one of my favorite pictures of all time. I don't know how it really gets any better than this. A lifted Dearborn on super swampers, a guy with a cowboy hat, a bottle of whiskey, and cowboy boots on. That's pretty much just one of the coolest pictures you will ever see in classic truck history. And here's some old truck photos of Scott's truck from back in the day. And you can see that this is another black one with all of the cool options on it, the roll bar, the front push bar, some better aftermarket wheels that look really cool. Him with his dog. Really awesome to see this truck again. Another one that was used for some off-roading fun. Before we move on to Brady's truck, unfortunately, this truck also met its demise in the 1990s and unfortunately was scrapped and is definitely gone to this day. So the first two are not actually survivors. They are gone. The first one may still be around, but Scott's truck is definitely gone. But the rest of them that you're going to see today, they are still around today, confirmed survivors. And the first one here is Brady's truck. Now, Brady's truck has a little bit of rust on it, not too bad, but it is missing the original graphics have been replaced, and it's missing some stuff. Obviously, it has super swampers on it, and I think those wheels look pretty cool if you ask me, especially with the black. It looks really good. You can see it definitely has some rust in the hood, but I did confirm that this truck is real. You can see the side steps that the Dearborns had. The aftermarket or the new aftermarket stripes are similar, but not exactly what they should be. But this truck does have the Coachman Industries sticker on the inside of the cab, so it is absolutely a real truck. So if you don't know what these Dearborn trucks are, Ford sent these trucks to Coachman, and Leisure Industries actually modified them to have all these special options on them, and that's what you're seeing. These trucks were actually sold with all these cool things on them, brand new from the factory, and you can see that right here on Brady's truck, the Dearborn Consolidated Leisure Industries glove box door emblem. That is factory on this truck, well, aftermarket factory on this truck. All the Dearborn trucks got that particular placard on the glove box, which is really neat and a big feature of these particular special editions. Now we're on to Matt's truck, and Matt's truck is very special, not only because it is a true rust-free survivor, but because it is the only known surviving silver truck. I do not believe any other silver trucks are left. I would assume that silver was probably a rarer color than black. And this one is in silver, obviously, and you can see the silver looks really, really sharp. We've got the running board still there. This one, I believe, has the bucket seats in it. It has a body lift on it and an aftermarket lift, of course, but there's nothing wrong with that. This truck runs really well. It's garage kept. You can see it has the snaps on the back for the tonneau cover still. New aftermarket wheels, but the stripes are all there going down the side. The graphics, and we can see here from the Marty report that you can see it has a DSO code of 86, which means it was sent to Coachman directly from Ford for the modifications, which is really cool, and that's probably the only silver truck remaining, which I really, really like. Now, this is not that truck, but this is another truck from back in the day that shows that these trucks did, in fact, come in silver. Now, I don't know whose truck this was from back in the day, but this one apparently was taken very shortly after it was purchased brand new. You can see the turbine wheels, the BF Goodrich wheels, all of the options that you would have gotten on a Dearborn truck from the factory, the roll bar, the side steps, the stripes, and everything else. This one being in silver with the black stripes, really awesome. Now we're on to Jeremy's truck, and this one, don't have the best pictures for this one because it's tucked away in a garage. I don't think it's running right now. This one has slightly different graphics than the other one. I think it was an earlier build, but still fairly similar overall. The graphics are just slightly different. It looks like it has different wheels on it. This one does appear to have some worse rust on it, but a lot of the parts are still there. It has the roll bar there. You can see it has the push bar. It looks like it's probably missing the outside pieces. Maybe he has those somewhere. I'm not sure. Fog lights were changed. It does not have the bucket seat. It has the full bench seat, and that was an option. You could get the bucket seats or you could get the bench seat. It was totally up to you, and you can see the aftermarket door panels. Those are the correct Coachman door panels for this truck as well. You can see the decals are missing on the tailgate. The Ford decals are there, but the Dearborn decals are missing. And you can see it has the roll bar there in the bed. It has the his and her twin sunroofs on the top. I don't know if Coachman put the cab spoiler on. That might have been added by someone else. I would assume it probably was because I haven't seen any other ones that have that part on them. So that's probably a later addition. Now, something I have noticed about all these Dearborn trucks is that they all seem to have the handling package on them, and that being the twin front shocks and a few other things that I think is a really cool option. And now we're on to Ron's truck, and this one was sold new in Colorado, I believe it was. And this is an actual picture of Ron's truck from back in the day when it was fairly close to new. It has the turbine wheels on it still, the front push bar, the graphics, the roll bar. You can see the tonneau cover on it with the snaps on the back. That's really cool. This one in front of the mountains there. Really, really awesome picture. And here's what it looks like today. He still owns the truck to this day. I guess it was repainted at some point because you can see clear coat peeling off and the stripes are missing. And unfortunately, the Rocket Industries wheels are also missing. But the truck being a Colorado truck, I told him that, yep, this is definitely a truck you want to put your money into getting restored. So I'll be working with him, getting the decals done and getting that back up and running, hopefully here in the near future. You can see it has a new replacement push bar on the front, and that's unfortunate because I don't think he's going to be able to find a new push bar for it. I believe Hickey Enterprises made the parts for these trucks. The roll bar, the push bar, and everything else. They were a big supplier in that time period, but those parts are essentially impossible to find today. And you can see in the interior, this one was optioned, but the bench seat as well. You can see it has the sport wheel with tilt, which I think was probably fairly common. Mine was also optioned with a tilt sport wheel, which is a great option to have. And you can see it has the his and her sunroofs on the inside right there. Pretty cool. And these are definitely the things that you want to have with these particular trucks, and it's really, really awesome. Okay, and that brings us to my own special edition Dearborn truck. Now, one thing I will mention is there's one other black Dearborn out there. A gentleman sent me. I lost the email and the pictures for it. So if you're watching this video, go ahead and email me and I'll include them in a post later on. But besides that one black truck that I haven't showed you in this video, this is the final survivor known to be left on Earth at this point. And if you happen to have one and I didn't put in this video, go ahead and email it to me, dentsidedepot@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. And the story of this truck is pretty crazy. I was browsing Facebook Marketplace and it popped up. A lot of people wouldn't know what it is, but it's the second I saw it, I knew exactly what it was because I had been looking for one for years. And this one was abandoned in a parking lot, and these are pictures no one's seen before, but I got there in this parking lot in Annapolis, Maryland, and it's just sitting there like that. And this was a one-owner truck, and this guy pulled it out of this gentleman's property, and it was just sitting there. And I knew I had to have it, so I went down there and grabbed it with a U-Haul trailer, and of course, all four wheels were locked up, and fortunately his neighbor had a giant backhoe that we were able to essentially drop it on the trailer. I don't know how else we would have gotten it out of there. And it was a real pain to get it. You can see the backhoe on the left-hand side there, the front end loader. Good thing he had that because we had to basically plop it on there. It was unbelievable how locked up it was. So you can see the inside of my special Dearborn truck when I got it. It was absolutely gross. It had been sitting for well over 20 years. You can see all the dirt, grime, dust, and debris. And what's special about this truck, it is optioned with the captain's chairs and the center console with ice chest, which is something that I think makes this one a little bit rarer than most of the Dearborns, because I believe most of them got the bench seat and not the captain's chairs. So I got this truck into my shop in February of this year, 2025, and you can see that picture here, the night I backed it in really poor condition, obviously sitting for all that time, but everything for the truck was still there, all of it. And you can see the bed caved in. It was in absolutely horrifyingly bad condition overall, but I knew it was savable. I went ahead and pulled the bed off of it, pulled the cab off of it, and you can see the bed in the background. The whole floor just fell out, essentially, so that was pretty easy to get the floor out. And the frame really wasn't that bad. It was in pretty good shape overall, so as soon as I got everything apart, I knew I had a truck that I could restore on my hands and save. Now, unfortunately, the engine was not savable. Somehow water was getting into the engine and it was completely full of water. It looked like it was dipped in the ocean. It was so bad I couldn't even move the valves or the distributor. So I got it all torn apart down to the frame and got it out for blasting and everything else. And you can see what I had to do here was a complete redo of the floor, essentially, the front floor pans and the cab mounts and a bunch of sections in the back of the floor as well. Was definitely a lot of metal work on this truck, but obviously it turned out great. And after that, we have 6 Dearborns that remain today in various states of condition. I believe mine is probably the best condition one in black, I would say. And then of course we have the other one that's really nice in silver. Those are probably the 2 best Dearborns that are left, but I think a few more are going to get restored over the next couple of years here and look really nice as well. Super happy to have this truck, and I'm super happy that I'm able to preserve the history of this special Dearborn Edition truck and all the people that have reached out to me over the past year or so that also have one. Now, one other thing is that Dearborn also did the Broncos, and you will see a few Broncos out there with the Dearborn package as well. But I hope you enjoyed seeing on this episode of Dentside Depot all the different Dearborns that are still surviving today, plus a couple that met their demise a long time ago. But with that being said, remember to like and subscribe and keep restoring those classic trucks.